Started the school year with is growth mindset. We spent 2 days on doing growth mindset and coming up with what it was, talking about growth mindset. I showed them some videos they did, and I don't know if it's in here. I think I just had one in, but I can find it, where they did a little flip book about growth mindset. Then they all had to sign that poster that they're expert learners and they're not afraid to take risks and try something new. And I have found more this year, more kids are asking questions. They realize, because we'll say your brain's growing, you just made a mistake, this is terrific, now you're going to learn from your mistakes. So I'm trying to create that feeling. So now to walk around the centers, the way I've done it is they know they start kind of clockwise. So this we're going to do tomorrow. They have a choice of making kind of a little display of percent and real world. There's fraction decimal matching game, or they can do the fraction decimal in the packet. This takes a lot of work. I found all these different links, and I put them all on Google Chrome, so they can go right to Google Chrome and click on. It's LearnZillion, and it's telling which ones in LearnZillion. And right now, they would be doing number 10. We're not at 11, 12, 13, 14. This was different math games, so they can do that one. We're not at percent yet. And then comparing and ordering decimals, or where we are right now. This is a site that only my students can use because I pay for it. It's MathBits, which I love. They have the most fantastic games. They extra come back here and they pull up. And then I have about 9 different stations. And I always have a station that's error analysis. So it's something wrong, and they've got to figure out what's wrong. And then this goes into our percent word problems, and then it goes down to there. So they know to rotate and do what they want. And then new this year, which I love, and I actually got the idea from another teacher who didn't do it. She saw it online, and when I went online to read about it, it says Montgomery County is all for this. It's called My Favorite No. Have you heard about it? Okay, so what it is, and again, you have to have introduced growth mindset. So this is our 3rd packet, and it's a lot of work. But first I go in and we read and talked about that my favorite no is teaching that the best learning opportunities come from making mistakes. This is exactly the message I want all of you to take away. Mistakes are just wonderful learning opportunities. If we share our mistakes, and everyone learns from mistakes, sharing is caring. So then they have these little greens, so they can put a green, red, or yellow dot. And what I did is when I make my flip charts, I make my favorite no for each day. And then the whole purpose behind my favorite no, the way the teacher did it on YouTube, which I didn't feel comfortable, she does it as a card in class, but then she checks it while the kids are sitting, and it just too much time. So what I do is I take them home and I check them. So I take every packet home and I check them, and I'll put a check if it's correct. If it's not correct, I put it in a separate pile. And then I tell the kids I pick the one that has my favorite mistake. That's why it's called My Favorite No. And I do not put their name on it. I retype it up, and then we discuss what was good about it. Like, for example, they put the decimal correctly, but the percent, they forgot the percent sign or whatever. And we talk about everything that was good and what can you learn. And then if the person wants to say, hey, that was mine, this is what I was thinking, they can. And then what they have to do is, if they don't have it checked, they've got to make it correct and reflect what they did wrong, which I take home and read it that day. I honestly feel I have a better pulse of my class this year. It's a lot of work because I'm taking these home every single day, but I truly know who gets it and who doesn't, because I can see, because this reflects what we did with the flip chart. So they had discourse. but I actually use this book because we're reading it in math department. So I told them I read this chapter in this book. It's Mindset. Mathematical Mindset.
Okay.
By Jo Bowler. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. So I said, I just read chapter, I believe it was chapter 7, and I said, this teacher believes that you are responsible for your whole table. And I found that people would have discourse, but very often sometimes people would be copying somebody's problem, or they wouldn't talk as much. And I said, so what she did was she walked around and she decided to give a quiz. And I said, don't worry, I'm not going to do this, because they were like looking. And I said, so she gave everybody a problem, and then she picked anybody, one person from each table. And if they got the problem wrong, everybody at the table got it wrong. Because you are responsible for your table and your table's learning. So I said, if I give you a problem, I would expect that I could pick anybody from that table to come up to the board or stand up and explain how that table did it. The change in the since school started, of their discussion, their talking. I also did say, and you never know, I may come, and if that person does a fantastic job, that table could get, I have like funny erasers and stuff like that. So, but they're really taking ownership. But you'd be amazed who will sometimes be the leader to take on the role, although we will rotate roles of facilitator, and you see people shine even if they don't get it. But the main thing is the discourse has always been there, but it's been somebody manipulating it. I don't see that